Good afternoon, and thanks for joining SMTV today. I'm Duncan Gilman.
And I'm Jamie McCook.
Can you believe it? What is it, like 3 weeks to the end of the year?
Yes, the year has flown by.
It has flown by. And of course, now we're starting to see all of these end-of-year recaps on social media. What site did the best? What site did the worst? And Nielsen put out a great report that looks at a lot of different social media sites.
Yeah, Pinterest skyrocketed.
Look at this, 1,000% growth on PCs, 1,000% on the mobile app, and 4,000% growth on just mobile web.
That's insane. I can totally believe it though, because I see all my friends on Pinterest all the time, and they're always pinning all these new boards. I'm like, how do you have time for this?
It's grown leaps and bounds. Interestingly, Facebook and a couple others have decreased on laptops and PCs, but everything has gone up on the web. So that's a huge clue to businesses to really optimize for mobile.
Oh, absolutely, especially having an app. I mean, granted, they went up over 4,000% for Pinterest for the actual just web browser, but I mean, apps, people are going to start catching on to those because it's simpler to hit one button than having to open your browser, type in the website you want to go to. I only use apps on mine. So.
And one great example of that is Twitterific, which is another Twitter app for, in this case, for Apple iOS. And they just released their latest version, version 5.
That's great. It'd be good for you. I don't actually have an iPhone. I'm still an Android user, but good for all of you guys.
But I would love to hear if anybody's using Twitterific, because a lot of people, we hear questions about Hootsuite and sometimes about TweetDeck. Don't really get a lot of questions about this particular app, so interesting to find out if anybody uses it.
Yeah, we should ask.
And moving on to the Facebook side, there's been a change in terms of their labeling for subscribers.
Yes.
Actually sounds more like Twitter now, because they're calling their subscribers, or they're going to start calling their subscribers, followers.
Yes, very interesting. But of course, they did, take over Instagram, and so they've I guess they're trying to change all their wording, to kind of make it more relevant. Because subscribers, you kind of think of it as paying for something.
Right, you kind of think I'm paying to subscribe.
Right, and so now I guess it's probably more like they want to make it seem like you're not having to pay for any kind of service or things like that, I guess.
And I think you really nailed it with the Twitter comparison, because this is not the only issue that has fueled this war between Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, I think that's going to be kind of ongoing until, they find some common ground, which I don't think they will.
They might not. Instead, what they're doing is just adding features that resemble the other platform, just like this one. So I pulled up an example, because we talked about this a while ago when Facebook first started the subscribe button, this feature for personal profiles. So this is Jeremy Lin's personal profile, but since he's a huge basketball star, the chances that you can actually connect with him as a friend are not that great, but you can subscribe to him. And so what Facebook is going to do is change this feature and start calling it follow.
Okay, so basically you'll still be able to see everything he's talking about, or whatever he lets you see that he's talking about, and then it's just going to be similar. But good for them. All these changes.
Want to know how your social media campaigns are going? Are you getting what you want out of them? If you have a question about Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, your blog, or Pinterest, let us know.
You can email us your questions to questions@splashmediau.com, or you can tweet them to us by using the hashtag SMTVQuestions.
Let's take some questions from our viewers. Ashley would like to know, should my blog be about my products or something completely unrelated to sales?
I don't like the completely unrelated words.
It's a little scary.
It is. I would say you kind of want to balance. You want to talk about your products, but you don't want to sound salesy. So don't try to be pushing buy for me, buy for me. You kind of want to come in as more, this is what we offer, these are the benefits, this is how it can help you. And then hopefully, from there, you can lead them to your website and then, get some sales that way.
Absolutely. The blog falls right in line with that 90-10 rule that we talk about, which is a general guide to say that 90% of what you post out there should be informational and educational, and the other 10% you have that opportunity to be a little bit more salesy if you have a product you want to highlight, or if you have some comparison you want to make between your product and someone else's. That other 10% is your chance to do that.
Right, but completely unrelated, you always want to make sure you're staying industry related.
Absolutely.
Because if you're a business and you're talking about cars and you're selling makeup, that's really not going to be something people are going to be like, what's going on here?
Right, even if it's not sales, keep it related to your business.
Right. Elizabeth wrote to us, what is Digg and do I need to know about it?
Well, you know, it sort of depends on how much you use these, the sites that aggregate all this content. Because Digg is a site that does that, like StumbleUpon, and in a sense like Pinterest, because it gathers all the best stuff that you find together in one place. And you used to see more of these Digg buttons around. In fact, I found one on Washington Post. Let me scroll down to the bottom of this article. And you'll see it's in the share section way down here at the bottom, along with Google Plus and there it is, Digg right there, along with StumbleUpon and Reddit. And it's one of those sites that you can view all of these articles that people have dug and really are interested in you know, all in one place. Let me open up the main website here. So you can sort of see, you can just sort through and see the articles that are most popular.
Right, so in essence, it's just like the like button on Facebook, except for, you know, it's going to kind of combine them all for you. I've been seeing the buttons kind of disappearing from a lot of places. It seems like it's not as out there as it used to be.
I have too, and it took me some time to find the Digg button, because what we used to see were these big boxes that had it was a share box, and when you clicked on it, you had the option to share it on Twitter, on Facebook, and all the sites. Now those seem to be going away in favor of individual buttons, like on Facebook, follow on Twitter.
Right, and they're so much smaller. Like it's harder to find. I mean, because now they're at the bottom. They used to be at the top. It's like they just keep moving things around.
And it's interesting to see how people are interacting with the content when they find it directly, and how they're interacting with it when they find it on the social media platforms. So are they seeing this great article from the source, or are they seeing it on Twitter because someone else retweeted it?
Right, that's where I get most of mine, is Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
It's things that have been shared already, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and share this too. So that's where I get mine.
I want to thank you for joining us this Thursday afternoon. Thank you for sending in those great questions, and keep them coming. For Splash Media, I'm Duncan Gilman.
And I'm Jamie McCook. Have a wonderful day.